Alright, well I'm pretty much done for the day. I may throw this into the beginning of the next video, I'm not sure yet, but I was playing with the heat treat oven a little bit, trying to change some elements around in it, so I'm just waiting for it to heat up to 1500 degrees and seeing how well it's going to heat up. It's done pretty good up until it hit around 1400, and then it's wanting to run a little bit slower. I'm going to have to make some changes there, but anyway, it's up and running. So I'm basically just waiting for temperature to reset. So I'm playing here on the lathe a little bit, just with a little bit of knurling stuff. And this is, assuming this works okay, this is going to be the knurled lever for running the cam on the main body. And instead of using the supplied material, I've taken a piece of stainless. I think this is probably 303, and for us American folks here. And I've made it long enough. It started out as 5/8 stock. I've made it long enough, hopefully, to where I can get the lever that goes on the bottom, or the cap that goes on the bottom, that the cam rod slides into on this other end of it, which gives me something to hold on to here. And I'm just turning this down to about 7/16. So we're just turning it down, and I've got the knurling tool that goes on the turret lathe, and I'm going to try and run it. I haven't run it very much this way, so we'll see if we can get a decent straight knurl on here. Otherwise, we'll do something else. That's probably about as good as we're going to get. I don't know if we want to try and take another cut on there or not. I think we'll leave that right there. We're just a little bit over 7/16, but if I try and take one more cut with that, it's not gonna give us a decent cut. This is what I've done. I've just taken the knurling tool for the turret lathe, hooked it up in the boring bar holder, and see if we can come up with something halfway decent with it. Is it gonna knurl just about to where we need it to knurl to? We want to drop that down just a little bit, or raise it up just a little bit, I guess that's what we want to do. I think we'll set it right there. Before I get too carried away, I probably should put a little chamfer on there. Make it a little easier to start that knurl. set these by eye and see if we can get them straight up and down for a straight knurl, or if we have to fiddle around with it a little bit. Try that and see what we come up with. If we actually put it in back here. Guess we didn't get it disengaged. There we did. Something looks tilted just a little bit. I think it's this knurl here. Let's try that and see what it does for us. Okay, I think that's a fair to middle of knurl. I think we'll go ahead and run that on back. Let me fire up the compressor real quick first. Alright, the heat treat furnace just now made 1500 degrees. I'm going to let that sit and percolate for a little bit here while I finish up at least the knurling on this. And then we'll shut it down and call it quits for the day. Okay, that knurl looks pretty good right there. Got a little bit of an angle to it, but in this little short section it's not going to matter, and actually for what it is, that looks like a very nice knurl. I think I will try and come in just a little bit more, just to see if it defines it a little bit more. I should quit while I'm ahead. That's not a bad looking knurl at all. I'm not unhappy with that. But I think maybe I can get, and maybe that's all we'll get out of it, I don't know. But let's see what we can do. We're just playing here anyway, so. Yeah, we're going to stop before we go any farther. I think we've about reached the depth of the knurl, but this part gets turned away anyway. Our knurl's just this little short portion right up here. So we're going to stop where we're at. That would probably be okay, but I think we're working it a little bit harder than we need to be. So we're going to call that good right there. So that looks pretty good. I think I will probably not turn this down. I am going to go ahead and drill it for the rod to go in there. And we may finish this up tonight, although I think we're going to quit right here and we'll finish this up in the morning. So I'll zoom in here just handheld real quick so you can see this knurl, because this upper portion is all we're going to actually utilize. It's about 5/8 long, so we'll turn back just a little bit and get that. Yeah, that'll give us a nice little knurl on that handle. I'll be happy with that. And it may not. Anyway, we'll get a close-up shot when it's all said and done if this doesn't focus up. This is where we left off yesterday afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and center drill this and drill it to 3/16 to accept our little rod in there first, and then we're going to have to try and swivel this compound around far enough to give us our 30-degree angle out on the sides of it. So let's just see what we can come up with here. Guess we didn't take it out of back gear, did we? There we go. Looks a little better. No, I haven't started the compressor yet this morning either. Better go and do that so we got a little air. Now we'll probably have to go up one size here. Let's see if it's use our rod as a plug. Yeah. I wanted to get this drilled first because I want to use that center hole as a gauge for my angle. There again, this is cosmetic as much as anything else, but there we go. Okay, so now let's rotate this assembly around, and I don't think we have enough clearance to swivel this all the way around this way. I know we don't, so let's go this way. And if we go clear around here, like yay. I think that should put us about where we want to be. Now, I've not tried this since we changed our scales around and put our guarding on this way, so we may have to do something a little bit different, but I think it'll probably be all right. Let's just take a test cut here and see what we've got. Let me check my dimensions real quick. All right, they don't give us any dimensions other than just an overall length here. Which, as I said, this is just kind of cosmetic, doesn't really matter in the big picture of things. think we'll go just a little bit more just to define this outer shoulder. I think I like that. I do. Let's leave that. Let's give it just a slight bevel out there on that end. That looks pretty good. I think we'll go ahead and set this back around the way it should be. Okay, let's go to about there. We're going to form the a little bit of a radius on that outer edge just by hand, but what we'll do is I'll go ahead, I'm going to start a plunge just to define the end of the knurl, and then I'm going to come off a little bit to give it a little more room to radius and polish it. Oh, and we probably should slow this down. We might be able to run it. Try it and see what we end up with. Wore out lathe. Part of the problems we run into, it just does not like to part, especially on stuff like stainless steel. I could keep screwing around and I could get that cut through, but we're pretty well finished off. I think I'll just take and bob it off, and then we'll set up the Loctite the rod in it, let it set for a few minutes, and then we'll contour the outer edge. And we still have enough material here to do the little knob that goes on over the cam lever, and then drill and tap it for this rod. So without cleaning up or anything, there's what we end up with for our little rod. We'll part it off right in here. All right, well, I've got that part parted off, or hacksawed off, and Loctited onto the shaft. So what I'm going to do is go back here and set up this part here. And this is the scrap that was left over from that, and I left it that length intentionally. I'm going to square up this end, put a little chamfer on it, flip it around, shorten it up to length, and then go ahead and drill it for the to accept this right here. See what we can do here. Make sure we do have enough stock. Oh yeah, we got lots. Okay, we'll leave that right there and give it just a little bit of a chamfer. got quite a bit of material to take off this other edge to get us down to length. There again, no rocket science, just Alright guys, well, I don't know if I lost footage, didn't shoot footage, what the deal was with this, but I went ahead and I turned the bottom portion out of stainless steel, and that's what we saw me machining on, and that's apparently where I ended it. It's a sliding fit over our little cam action here, and then it is drilled and tapped for this 3/16 rod, and then here's our little cap that we made. And what I did is I Loctited it on temporarily and then just took it to the belt sander, spun it in a drill, and then I went back and polished it. So that's what we end up for our cam arms, and there's the way it works right there, just like that. So hopefully that will have enough range of motion and everything. It looks pretty good. I think everything's going to be fine with it. So next I'm working on the cap for the top of this, then we'll go back and build our rod. Then we've got to go back and deal with knurls. Now, I said in the last video that they'd informed me that knurls were on the way, and I received knurls, and I'm going to throw in a little clip on the end of this. Not one that I really am interested in making, but you know, I wanted to keep you guys informed, so I'm going to show you the knurls I received and kind of discuss my feelings on it. So anyway, there we are for that point in it. We'll get this added into the video, and then we'll do the rest of it, and we're getting pretty close on this. We've got to finish up our adjustment assemblies here, install the knurls such as they are, and then do our tool post adjustment. Okay, well, I'm going to stop this build portion right here, and we'll pick it up in part 8. But as many of you know, I've been somewhat irritated by the fact that I have not received knurls and that I'd ordered when I ordered this kit. Now, I'm going to try and be as fair as I can be about this, and go through and give a brief history for those of you that have not you're seeing this for the first time or hearing about this for the first time, whatever the case may be. This is the second kit that I'd ordered from Hemingway Kits, and I'm here in the US, they're in the UK. They've got a pretty good reputation, I think, for the most part, about supplying their kits and things, and I've not built the first kit, which was their rotary broach. That will be coming up probably, depending on how this all turns out. But when I received the rotary broach kit, which was the first one I ordered, I was absolutely ecstatic with it. Their delivery time was stellar from the UK as far as I was concerned. It was within a week I had that kit here in my hands. And I'd ordered a couple of books with it and everything, but nonetheless it was a very good experience. So I turned around and ordered the knurling tool kit, and didn't hear anything, and I was so impressed, you know, with the first order that I'd been watching their website, and their website's been redone here before too long. It had order tracking on it. It had, I could go back in and look at my orders, exactly what I'd ordered, and what I'd spent, all of that good stuff when it was shipped and things. So I was very, very happy with the first order, and I picked out a few other kits here that I'd kind of planned on ordering as time went on. But anyway, this second kit was the Sensitive Knurling Tool that I'm working on now. And I ordered this kit and didn't really hear anything. It showed it being processed immediately, but then all of the tracking information and everything on my little portal there just gave me a 404 error. I couldn't see those orders other than to see that I'd ordered them, what I'd spent, and when I'd ordered them, and if they were completed. And it showed this knurling tool as completed, and when I'd ordered it, I ordered a set of straight knurls with it and a set of diamond knurls. And I'm not going to say they're a proprietary knurl, because I did find some that I had on some turret lathe tooling. But they're not a real common knurl that we see, so I kind of feel like you're almost tied in with buying their knurls with it. So I didn't hear anything from them, sent off an email, and a few days later, and I think I just sent the one email, why I got an email saying it had been shipped the 25th. And when tracking did show up to me, it showed the 27th. You know, I don't know what the deal was there. I'm not going to hash on that. I did receive the kit a few days later, and when I'd ordered it, it had showed the knurls in stock. So when I got the kit itself, why, it was lacking the knurls, and I'm looking at the invoice right here on my desk, and says please read receipt, and it's got some green highlighter on it, and it shows the diamond knurls, and then highlighted below, after that, thanks for your order, we trust you'll enjoy adding this item to your workshop. Below that, why, it says, unfortunately we were waiting for knurls to arrive. We will send these separately in around 4 weeks. Sorry for this aggravation. Well, that's still okay. That's not a big deal. It says on their website if they don't have something in stock, which may usually be castings, because they're waiting for them from the foundry. So, okay, this is not a big deal at this point in time. So I let some time go by, and I sent off an email inquiring, didn't hear anything. Sent off another email, didn't hear anything. I think I sent a total of 4 emails and never got a response. I was basically being ignored at that point in time as far as I'm concerned. Now, my position and my aggravation, as they put it, at this point in time, or at that point in time, was the lack of communication. Had they taken 30 seconds to shoot me an email saying, we're still waiting on knurls, then it's not a problem. I understand supplier delays at this point in time. I've got problems with stuff that I produce with supplier delays and things like that. But nonetheless, I was being ignored at that point in time, and that lowers their status in me quite a bit right off the bat. And when I went back then and looked at the website, they showed knurls as being back ordered and would ship in approximately 6 weeks on the website then. So that's all still well and fine. And finally, I sent off an email it was when I released, or was getting ready to release part 6. So it would have been about a week ago. And said that I was editing the 6th part of this video series, and I was going to release it on Wednesday, which I ended up and released it on Tuesday. If I hadn't heard back from them by Friday, I was going to do a video about a review of my service from them. So, and in the interim, I'd had a comment on one of my videos on this kit saying that someone else had a problem with not receiving the proper size stock and had never received that stock. So things are, and I was fairly aggressive in my email. The very next day, I got an email back saying, sorry for the delay. We've had a tremendous amount of people ordering these kits. And I get that. I'm one of those people that's ordered that kit. But supposedly my knurls had reached the U.S. on the previous Friday, and I should be receiving it this week, which would have been last week. I believe it was Saturday, and this may have been a couple of weeks ago because I haven't, anyway, I guess it would have been a week ago. I ended up and received it on that Saturday, and got the knurls in, and the straight knurls are fine. I'm going to throw up a couple of pictures here of the diamond knurls that I received, and we'll talk about them a little bit. And I feel, honestly, all of this could have been avoided with a quick email, stating our position as time went on, because I was already aggravated with this, or irritated exceptionally by this. I'm going to throw up pictures here of the left and right hand diamond knurls. The left hand knurl is on the left, and if we look at this, there's not a bit of problem with this knurl. It looks like freshly manufactured. The coloring, condition, engraving depth, and everything on this left-hand knurl looks very similar to the straight knurls that I got. They were new production stuff. When we look at this right-hand knurl, this is a piece of shit. So if we look at this, we look at the rings around the edge, we look at the pitting that we've got on this knurl, and the depth of the engraving, a little bit different discoloration. I suspect this is a knurl that initially did not pass quality control, or there was a problem with it. It's been sitting on a shelf for who knows how long. It's got some corrosion on it, which in and of itself is not a big deal. But to me, it looks like this is a old knurl, a used knurl. Something's not right with it. So if appearances in this condition is the only thing it was, I would not complain about this. It would be a usable knurl. But if we go on and we look at the next picture that I have here, when we look at all of this right up, down, around through here, this is not cut straight. This is not a usable knurl. This is not going to give a decent knurl pattern on anything. So at this point in time, I'm very displeased with Hemingway kits. And I hate making a video like this. I want you to make your own decisions. A lot of people have not had any problems at all ordering from them. I had not had any problem with my first order. At this point in time, unfortunately, I will not be placing another order anytime soon, if ever. They've got several kits that I would like to have. There was a few things that I could use for my future projects for the shop that would be very useful to me. But at this point in time, I do not consider them, from my position, to be a supplier that I really want to deal with. I want you to make your own decisions. This is just my point of view at this point in time. If Hemingway chooses, and in their email that I got from them finally saying my knurls were in the United States, they said they'd been watching my series, so I'm going to assume that they're going to see this video. If they choose to do something to remedy this situation, that's fine. I will report that back to you in a favorable light. If they choose not to, when I finish this series, I will do a review of this whole thing and my experiences with Hemingway, and I will relay that to you also. But this, this is not a good thing. Now, there again, I can understand things making it through quality control. They've got a backlog. They're trying to fill these orders and everything. But I would have thought that since I've kind of gotten kind of pissy about this whole thing, they would have wanted to make sure that my order was right and complete. Well, I guess they're considering it complete, but I would have assumed they would have wanted to make sure that I got quality product that I'd ordered. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not wasting my time emailing back. Excuse me. I'm not wasting my time emailing back and forth. If they choose to make this right, that's entirely on them. I'll report to you one way or the other what happens with the outcome of this. I've got a few more installments in this series. We'll see what happens. But I'm done, I guess, basically wasting my time on things like this. So this has been my experiences with them. Like I say, I don't like doing a review like this. I don't like to put out bad press. They're a company doing very similar to the little things I try and do with the Atlas machines and stuff. So in producing parts and doing a reasonable job, hopefully. So I don't want to be trashing on them, but we should be aware of what we're receiving from these different companies, whether it's mine, whether it's somebody else's. So that's where we're at. Hopefully you've found this useful. Hopefully you're finding this little video series useful. I think I'm going to end up with a wonderful little tool when I'm done. So, make your own decisions as to how you want to take the information that I'm putting forth here. So anyway, hopefully you find this a little bit useful. If you've got any comments for me, leave them in the comments section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.